All right, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to Fearless Friday. I have the one and only Lupe, who is now called the Rhody Foody, who I've had the privilege of knowing for a long time. And he's done so many different things in his life, but I feel like a lot of them have been centered around restaurants and just the food industry in general. So we have we have a treat. This is an actual treat for you today.
Oh, I'm the treat?
Oh, the treat.
No. Then everyone get your money back. Get your refunds right now.
Good thing it's free. Good thing it's free. So welcome.
I'm waiting for someone to pop up in my door with like a tres leche cake. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on here?
I was so going to send you one of those after this.
Yeah, all right.
Love it. I love
I plugged out, I was like, tres leche, my favorite cake.
Oh my God, so good, right? So good.
Yeah. But thanks for having me. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for being here. I'm super excited. I want to know all about Rhody Foody. We want to know about you and your journey. Sure. And Rhody Foody is literally a journey for you, which is so cool. But yeah, tell me about you and how you got to Rhody Foody as your new thing.
Woo! Everybody sit down, get comfortable. I'm just kidding. So I'll give you kind of the penny tour of, fast forwarding to today. So I'm originally from California. I actually moved to Rhode Island by complete accident. Ended up loving and falling in love with this place. I got really lucky. I was able to get a job at a local radio station here. And I basically did media for about, I want to say like 10 years. And I always joke with the radio station because I'm technically on a leave of absence. It's just been a really long one. So my friend Lindsay Idaluca fills in sometimes at Hot 106 and Pro FM. And today she sent me a picture of my mailbox. And I was like, yeah, it's because I technically work there still, but it's been about 11. I'm on like a 9-year leave of absence.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I was like, hey, my box's still there. I still work there. So I got really lucky. Did radio for about 10 years, and it was with DJ Buck. Do you remember DJ Buck from back in the day? He was like yeah, so he works in Connecticut now, but he was like Mr. Radio back in the early 2000s. And I got really lucky enough to, get under his wing, and he kind of taught me everything. And, when you work at radio stations, they send you out to places, right? So they send you out to like, a car dealership, come win tickets to Lady Gaga, things like that.
Yeah. Ooh.
So, and one of the things, yeah, right. I should have went. But one of the things is part of it too is that they would send us out to nightclubs as well to host the night, right? Hey, come join Lupe from 9 to 11 at Barry's or Metropolis or something like that, right?
Going back.
I know, I'm bringing back unlocked memories.
Oh yeah, Barry's.
Yeah. Honestly, I miss the Barry burgers more than anything, but people don't know that there was a nightclub out there that had a freaking food buffet. It was the weirdest, most amazing thing ever. Yep. And so, I was hosting these nightclubs, and then there was around the time that I took, I go through these little spells in my life, and we'll talk about the current one that I'm in right now. Is I still have this California hippie inside of me that likes to just drop everything and just go travel and go to national parks and things like that. So I did one of those around, I want to say 2013-ish. And around that time, the nightclub industry was kind of taking a dive. Yeah. There was a lot of regulations that were coming in. They took away like bottle service, which was employing, cocktail waitresses, bouncers, security. I mean, the nightlife industry was like employing a lot of folks. Yeah. So I think it was the Department of Business Regulation came in and basically considered it illegal. So a lot of those same guys that were nightclub owners and managers ended up becoming restaurateurs. They ended up becoming restaurant guys. So, it's one of those things like, you network your whole life, and then, you kind of have to transition with things, right? And after a while, they're like, hey, can you bring people to come eat? I was like, well, it's kind of the same thing. Let's just use the promoting instead of, telling people come out at night, come out for dinner instead.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of married from that into that. But the whole time we've always been, completely intertwined with social media. One of the biggest kind of culture shocks for restaurants where I remember I don't like to use the word panorama, Covito.
Covito.
So pre-Covito, right? It makes it cute. So pre-Covito, I used to tell restaurants like, hey, you need an Instagram. You need to take photos of your food.
Amen.
You know how old school people are. Like, we've been here for 20 years. Nobody, And then COVID hit, and it was like, my phone would not stop ringing. Like, we know a guy I can put some. And it was like, see, I told you guys would have hit the ground running with everything, because everything just completely switched to, takeout and curbside pickup and things like that. But, so around that time, jumping back into time, a lot of the restaurateurs, a lot of the nightlife guys and entertainment guys I'd always stayed in like hospitality in a way, right? Yeah. So it was kind of, how can we provide a good time, right? And and then that kind of transitioned to, I've always known Pat Cruz for a long time because of the radio. She used to come in and like promote her women's expos and, all of her expos and stuff. And I always stayed in contact. We were always really close. And over the years, we just got closer and closer and closer. And then we finally launched the Taste of Rhode Island events, which unfortunately we had to put on pause for now. But we're looking to bring that back.
Oh,
we're actually expanding.
If you guys don't know Pat, I've been trying to get her on the show too, because she is like one of my favorite people on the planet. She's amazing.
Really?
Like, I love Pat.
I'll set that up for you. That's
easy. I love it. I just saw her a few weeks ago. We were at a networking event, but she at a networking event, there was like a zillion people there. So
she's like buzzing around like crazy. So sometimes she'll grab me. She's like, let's go take a breather. Let's get a glass of wine. Because those things, she does a really good job of bringing around a really nice mix of people too, Yeah. So, even during, Covito times, she had to pivot a little bit too. So she became a realtor, right? Yeah. She used her whole network and she basically hit the ground running. And I was like, you did something that takes realtors like a decade to do.
Yeah.
She's like, well, it's all about networking. And it really is.
Yeah.
So we started doing events and things like that. And then right when, when COVID hit, at the time, Rhody Foody was doing a lot of free photo shoots for restaurants, right? Mm-hmm. We did them, like we would go to places, take really silly photos of us, like eating spaghetti, but showing the food in a really good light, helping out places that didn't have really good photos. Yeah. And it was a great way for us to meet restaurateurs. It's the only real time where you can capture owner or manager's attention for an hour and just talk shop, right? Yeah. And they get so excited for that. And so when COVID hit, we couldn't do that. So we literally sat back and I was like, what the heck can we do? So I came up with this idea, 100 local restaurants in 100 days YouTube series. Yeah. And it took off. It took off like crazy. So, and we're still doing it now. When was that? Like a year and a half ago or something like that? I feel like you've been doing them a long time. I've seen a bunch of them. And they're fun. Like, you get to kind of see a lot of places that you wouldn't normally get out of the house and see and kind of experience that. And I imagine that's been really awesome for local restaurants too. Oh, I just did, what did we do? Cohesive Pizza in West Warwick. They were so ecstatic. And I was like, this is why we do this.
Yay. Oh, I love that.
And it's so funny that people turn out to see my face, stuff in my face. It's just insane. But, it's a great way. Yeah, it's a great way for me to kind of reintroduce myself to the different parts of Rhode Island, right? Yeah. The other day we drove down to Westerly to, grab some burritos. There's a really good burrito place down there called Bomb Burritos. And, it's just, I find it fun. And it helps out the local restaurant. It makes us feel good. We get a great meal out of it. We get to try a new meal from a new place because not all burritos are created equally, as I like to say.
I believe that. Yep.
Right. So yeah, so we were doing all that, 2020, kind of fast forward to today, 2020 was kind of a like spiritual awakening for a lot of folks, right?
Yeah,
It was
sure.
kind of like, hey, what am I doing with my life? Right.
Mhm.
So at the time
Okay.
too, I was like, I need to go get some fresh air. So I kind of took the same model that I was doing locally, and I traveled around the US for, I think, I'm back now for a couple weeks, but I'm going back on the road because I'm having way too much fun.
Yeah.
Um, I've been out for like 6 months, but still doing local content mixed in with kind of national content, and just honestly just having a blast. Yeah.
So you are basically making a living doing something you love, traveling
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
helping restaurants in hospitality and making a living
Yeah.
this way. I mean, that's
It's
the
it.
holy grail.
I'm literally living the dream.
That's amazing. I love that. That's so
Thank you.
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys that are watching, like, if I could tell you, like, okay, this is what you should do with your life, like, take these things that you love and just go and do them. Oh, and by the way, make an impact, give back to charity, because Lupe,
Oh,
I know you're huge on giving back
yes.
too.
Yes.
And enjoy and be happy. Like, this is literally the poster child. Like, look at this person. He is the poster
I mean, thank
child
you,
for
but
this.
yeah,
That's
I
so
think
awesome.
I think again, going back to where the word 2020 is going to almost be its own word soon, right?
Yeah.
It's such a definitive year. I know so many folks that you had the Great Resignation, right? And that's
Yep.
still going on right now.
Yeah.
Millions and millions of people have left their job. And I
Yeah.
think there's a misconception that people don't want to work anymore. That's not true. They just want to
Yeah.
work for themselves,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
A lot of places were forcing people back into the office, and
Mhm.
I have friends who are like, wait. They were talking to their bosses. They're like, did my productivity go down? Like, did my quality?
Yeah.
They're like, no, nothing's going down. Okay,
Yeah.
so why would I wake up an hour before going to work,
Mhm.
be stressed, and because we all know Rhode Island traffic and
Yeah.
Southeast Mass traffic, and have to spend more money buying a meal for lunch and then getting in traffic again and spending so much. So you're spending an extra $400 a month for no
Yep.
reason. That's $5,000 at the end of the year.
Yep.
And you don't get to have your pet around. You don't get the longer lunches. It's just, so I think a lot of people kind of woke up in
Yeah.
2020. And I think people are slowly starting to wake up also and trying to
Yeah.
figure out a way, how can I live my best life
Yes.
and do what I love.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out. There's an old saying that's find something that you love and you never work a day of your life, right? Like,
Yes. Yeah.
and kind of the cousin saying of that is find a passion and learn how to make money from it, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
So if you could find yourself at those two crossroads, and it'll take time.
Yeah.
I mean, I really didn't pull the trigger until probably the end of last year on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And but I gave myself that year and change to be like, okay,
Yep.
well, if I know where I need to be, let's start putting the pieces in place in order to make that happen, right?
So good. And you did it. I mean, that's really
yeah.
that's really the biggest thing, right? It's like we can plan and we can dream and we can wish and we can hope, but until we have action, nothing happens, right? We always say the same. And it could have been that you went out and traveled and it was terrible. It probably wouldn't have gone that way, but you could have got there and
you're
said,
right.
Yeah, but you took the step, and that's so awesome, right? Fearless Friday. Love it.
But you're absolutely right. I think the misconception with folks too, and it was with myself. I include myself in this. Is you're always sitting back, right? And you're like, okay, how do I get the motivation before?
Yeah.
And what I tell folks is you have it backwards.
Yeah.
You have to do it, and then you get the motivation to move forward.
Oh, that's so good. That's the golden nugget for the day.
So
do it first,
you have to.
Later.
There's just everything happens after that leap, right?
Yeah.
So just honestly, at the end of the day, I think 99% of us, the only thing really in our way is ourselves.
Yes. 100%. 100%. And I think that's, the group is really a lot of small business owners, entrepreneurs, direct sales people, realtors, all of us who are on that, that have that thing, right? It's like we have this thing, we have this business, and we have to do it because we know we have to feed our families and so on and so forth, and live and do all these things. But it's like to be able to do something you love and then make a living from it, and not be fearful that you're gonna fail or whatever, or it's not gonna work, to just jump in. And it's funny because right before we got on the call, I was like, so in December, I jumped out of the parachute, right? So to be able to be that kind of person, right? And just jump into something that you love and you love doing and you enjoy, and not have fear that it's going to fail, because it might fail, who knows? But you won't know if it'll work if you don't just jump in.
Exactly. And the word, to your viewers, when we say the word jump, that's such a subjective term, right?
Yeah.
So some of us jump from the highest peak and you're doing one of these on the way down. You're like, yeah, doing it. But you can also take little leaps as long as you're moving, as long as you're jumping forward. Like that's the whole point. Because I think a lot of us, we always look back and say, dang, I should have started like 10 years ago, 5 years ago. I should have started last year. Where would you be? And also, not to get too new agey with everybody, but there's also a lot of power in manifestation as well.
Yes.
Envisioning yourself in a certain situation and not saying, oh, I can't wait till I get there. You almost have to envision it that you're already there and you're just moving towards it. And I'll stop there because this will be a whole other episode on something else.
Oh my God, I love it. We'll have to do a part 2.
Yeah. So that's on part 2. But yeah, you just, it's your own, it's that old saying again, you're your own biggest enemy sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. So tell us about how, because we are like a marketing type group. So tell us about how I know you always have been recommending to the restaurants to use marketing, but talk a little bit about marketing, how you've used that, how that helps you make a living and lets you kind of live the dream.
Sure. Okay. So there's different I think, entrepreneurs and folks that want to work for themselves, we find a certain category, and then within that category, there's going to be different revenue streams, right? So let's say someone goes to you, hey, we need photos. You can get a photographer for them. Hey, they come to you and say, hey, I need a videographer. So it's never just one thing, right? So the way that for someone like myself, who I didn't know that this is what I was being called, but I was being called a content creator. So, and influencer. I hate that word, by the way.
You made yourself an influencer. But you like it or not?
No, stop it. I hate that word. Don't call it. So there's different. So every industry is going to have its own thing, but we'll talk about me specifically on this part. Yeah, definitely. So for me, there's different things. So we've already talked about the events, right? Yep. So the events, those are revenue generating, but with a positive good. Everything I'm going to list right now has a positive good to it as well, a net positive. Yeah. So the events are great. They showcase local restaurants, and we do those. We're looking to expand our events kind of section of how we make a living as well. Yeah. Another one is sponsorships, right? Yeah. If you guys go to Rhody Foody's Instagram, it is sponsored by. You'll see a lot of Dunkin' Donuts, a lot of Dunkin' content.
Yeah.
So we're sponsored by Dunkin', that's one of our biggest sponsors right now. We are talking to some other agencies since I'll be back home a little bit more this year than I was last year, to do some more things. I know we're in the works of, I think, speaking to some of the state agencies to promote like local food and things like that. So that's going to be fun. Which goes hand. I never do anything that's not organic, right? I wouldn't be like, hey, Rhody Foody is sponsored by Toyota. It's like, what the heck is this? like let's just, I mean, I could spin it, right? We're all very clever. We're like, oh, well, I used the Toyota to get to the restaurant.
There you go.
So sponsorships, event production and promotion. Another avenue too is like YouTube. So YouTube is very unique in a way where you and I can post a video, and if you're monetized, if you're part of YouTube's monetization, they sell ads on the video and they give you a percentage of that, right? So, if you're, depending on the type of industry that you're in, let's say you're a makeup person or you're a foodie or anything else, how do you monetize the different parts of your day, right? So with YouTube, I basically monetized my meals, right? So I get to go to a local restaurant. I get to make a video for them, support them. I pay for the food. YouTube, depending on how well the video does. Well, and we've been really lucky. We've grown really fast on, I think in about a year or so, we've hit like 12,000 subscribers, which is, I'm very humbled about. And that's the really cool thing too, is on our local videos, they're like, oh, everyone's typing. They're like, oh, we can't wait to visit Rhode Island. Like, we're adding this to the list. I'm visiting my niece in Cranston. I can't wait. I'm gonna go to that pizzeria. So it's like this perpetual, just positive snowball effect. You know what I mean? So there's production, marketing, sponsorships, and then YouTube is, I suggest everybody, Gary V. I'm sure you know who Gary V is. He's one of my favorite guys. I think what people are afraid of a lot of the times too is what others will think. Yeah. Right. So some of my videos on Instagram, I'm silly, but that's who I am in person. Right. And you have to get past this thing of caring what people think. And just do you, essentially.
So good.
What Gary V taught me too is same thing as jumping was subjective, so is quality. So don't worry about, if you're doing a makeup channel and you're selling makeup and you own a boutique or whatever it is, and you're doing silly videos of you dancing because you like dancing, and then there's makeup on your face, be you. People are going to gravitate towards you anyways. So and then slowly but surely you build an online community, and now as a business you're being able to have different revenue streams, not only in a physical location but online as well. And any business can be online. Any business can be on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Just do it. Yes. It's very, you have pizzerias now that are in small towns, but they've gained such a big following online, or those people have moved away, that they're able to ship these pizzas out now. And I try to stay up on the trends and things like that with food. And some of these places are making more money shipping out frozen pizzas than they are from the locals coming to eat. So there's always a way to organically scale up. And I'm always thinking of that too. I have, let me knock on wood here, but I'm actually going down to Florida next week, and I'm going to be talking to a couple folks down there of doing some food events down there, because Florida and New England has such a strong connection. There's snowbirds galore. I go down there and I'm hearing Rhode Island and Boston accents there. I'm like, what the heck? I just left the cold, but you guys came down here with the accents. I love it. The Red Sox, their summer camp is down there. I think it's in Tampa Bay or Fort Myers. I mean, Brady went down to Tampa. So there's just a really strong connection. So it's just about expanding and leveling up, but do it in an organic way. Don't just do it for the sake of it. There's a lot of things that I've said no to that had a dollar sign next to it. You have to learn how to say no to as well.
Yeah, that's a big nugget too, right there.
That's a hard
it's
nugget.
So hard. Oh my God. Yes. That's like the hardest thing ever, is like,
I know. Yep. There's a lot of campaigns that I just I wanted to do, but I wouldn't have been able to do in my best self if I wasn't in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
So I had to say no, and it was one of those where I was like, ah, all right, let's just keep focusing. But that's okay. But that's okay too. In a way that makes you kind of more exclusive at the same time. So right? There's always my favorite thing is what's the net positive? Let's just keep rolling. Yeah.
And I love that you mentioned that too, because you mentioned humble, and I've always, you know, we've never, not that we've been like close friends, like we hang out all the time, but my vision of you has always been just a humble person who's always looking out for someone else and always giving back. And that's always been like, when I think of you, that's what I think of. So, and I think you're welcome. I think that's super.
I want to keep you around. Where are you going?
I know, right?
I might come work for you part-time.
I love it. We do content creation. That's what we do.
We're looking to scale up.
Here you go. Kim, we're going to hire somebody else. She's going to kill me.
I love it.
But no, seriously, we always do look for, we personally are always looking for people that can do the right thing for our clients, right? So one of the reasons I founded my agency was because I worked for other agencies. I was a CMO type director of marketing for a corporation, for a, family-owned business. Then I went to the agency, and then I said, you know what? I need to just be able to have my own core values, and I need to be true to that, right? Just like you said, like you've got to be true to yourself, because if you're not, and you're living someone else's story, and you're living someone else's dream and someone else's core values, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So, but I wanted you to talk a little bit about giving back and charity, because I know that's your thing.
Sure.
I love that about you.
Yeah, thank you. So funny that you bring that up. I'm waiting for the YouTube channel to get to a certain point where some of the travels include like a lot of, because hold on, let me preface it by saying this. Back in the day, there used to be this website where you would type in your city and what you're looking to do, and it would show you volunteer opportunities. And I don't know what the heck happened to that website. They must have lost funding or something, which is really sad, because anybody could just go in there and say, hey, I'm in Cranston, I have Sunday from 2 to 5 open. What can I do to help out my community? And it would tell you, you want to read books? Do you want to collect cans? Do you want to help, feed the needy? Whatever it was. But yes, volunteerism, it's, what year was it? So when I left the radio station, right, which I'm still hired at.
When you left the radio station.
Yeah, I'm still on a very long leave of absence. So I left and I moved to South America for about 6 months. I moved to Colombia, and it was one of those things where I think sometimes not only your body, but your mind, your soul, everything needs a reset, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, I need to feed my soul, right? So I went down to Colombia. I linked up with an organization, and they did everything. They did everything from feeding the homeless to working at orphanages. I hate that word, but that's what they call it down there. And there was this one program. Oh, I can't wait to be rich, because I'm going to go down there and like buy them everything.
I love that.
They have this one organization called Abuelitas, which is just Spanish, like a cute word to say grandmother. Yeah. And it's basically a home for grandmothers, because the families down there, what they do when they can't, afford to take care of them or don't have the means, is they just drop them off at this home. And I was like, wait, they do what? Oh. I was like, you guys can all come with me. Oh. But they, we go there, and basically all you do is just be there. And I think some folks, we can do this. That's a great example for everybody in our own lives with family and friends, right? just being there is probably what someone needs the most, right? So we would go there, we would, you know, they would paint my nails, I'd paint their nails, and we would watch movies, and we'd eat with them and play cards, listen to their life stories, because sometimes they just want someone to talk to also, right? So we only went there once a week. I was trying to get the program to expand it, but like when it came to, I think it was either Thursdays or Fridays, I mean, the whole staff were like, everyone's talking about when you guys come every week. And I was like, oh my God, I would come here every day if I can.
I love it.
So yeah, so we did a lot of, we helped build some structures. So I when I came back home from that point on, I was, you know, I made a promise to myself that everything I did was going to have some sort of either volunteerism or helping out charity or doing something for someone element to it, right? And that's what we've done. You know Ed Brady as well. We started doing, you know, we did a lot of big Thanksgiving dinners and summer barbecues for the homeless and stuff, which a local organization kind of took over because it got too big for us.
That's awesome.
It got really big. I remember we did, the first one was like, I think we did like 40 or 50 people. The next one we did 100, and now it's just getting up to hundreds, and we're like, we need like institutional help. And it's real great. It's great partnerships. Yeah, we team up with the May organization. They set up like clothes and like toothpaste, and we ask local barbers and salons to come give haircuts, and it's a great day. That's twice a year. But I'm no longer involved with that because they took the reins. Oh my God.
Is that the Rhode Island Dream Center?
Dream Center. Thank you.
Yeah.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah. So the Rhode Island Dream Center. Yeah.
Nice.
And they do a great job too. They one of the things that we were doing too is because they go out to all the different shelters and give out food. We were challenging different local restaurants to like, hey, do you mind supporting? And you know, I used to own my own little grilled cheese shop back in the day, so we would always give out like sandwiches and mac and cheese and stuff like that. And so, you know, moving forward, you know, the events that I do with Pat too, there's always an element of, hey, there's a local organization we're raising money for. We sell raffles. We give a percentage of our ticket sales. Just literally everything that you do can give back a little bit. And that's, I'm waiting for, you know, for the this is just YouTube. I'm waiting for YouTube to get to a place where it's making a ton of stuff, like a ton of revenue, where we can do some really cool stuff with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, but right now it's grinding it out. It's just like, listen, guys, it's not easy, but if you just move forward and you grind it out, it's simple mathematics and it's simple science. Something will come of it if you work hard. Yeah.
Love that. I love that. I love the thing that I think I love the most about what you said was, I can't wait to be rich so I can give back to everybody.
Oh my God.
That's the kind of person you cheer on. You know, it's like, I follow, you know, similar to Gary Vee, I follow Grant Cardone a lot. And when I first, when he first came into my news feed, I was like, this guy, with his suits and his helicopter, and his wife is like a Barbie doll, and he's got a but when I really listened to him and what his platform is and what he's trying to do and trying to educate people on financial literacy and trying to get, you know, people that don't have access to financial literacy to understand how to build wealth early on, and different things like that, I was like, okay, I get it now. Okay, he's cool, right? But you know, so we're definitely gonna post your YouTube channel. So everybody go and subscribe. Because we want to push him up those subscriber links and get him go get that.
It's just you know, speaking of, you know, some creative ways, there's this one YouTuber that's really big. His name is Mr. Beast, and super smart kid. I am super jealous that he has just so much great going on for him at I think he's like 23 or something. But long story short, he has all these YouTube channels, and he built up one YouTube channel where all the revenue goes to charity. And I was like, oh my God, see, that's what I want to do, because it's one of those things where when someone watches, and here's the great thing about YouTube, it's free.
Yeah.
You just have to watch the screen.
Yeah.
Right. And watch the ad. You don't have to watch. There's always that little, skip.
Yeah.
That still charges the advertiser. So it's a great way to give without giving, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I love all those marketer guys. They just do a really good job, especially, you have to kind of weed out the really good ones, but they're out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So you're going to Florida.
I'm going to Florida. Say that
Rhody
again.
Foody? What's next for Rhody Foody? What can we expect?
Yeah. So Rhody Foody, some more traveling.
Nice.
We're hoping to bring back some of our bigger food events this month. I don't know when this airs. Did I just mess that up? Do you want to edit that out?
It's all good. It's Friday, Lupe.
Oh yeah, Friday. Okay, Friday. Well, so what's funny when you I've developed like mashed potato brain because of traveling. I don't I have a schedule, but I don't. It's like this really weird thing where, I can go 10 different directions. I don't have to be somewhere at a specific time.
Yeah.
So, but the 14th, we're bringing back the Rhody Foody socials, which is what we do is what we used to do. And we're just trying to get our wheels back. Is every month we would basically go to a different local restaurant in Rhode Island and kind of do like a networking, but it's for foodies where foodies can meet up.
Yeah.
And the restaurants loved it because, we would put like 100 people in their restaurant. They're like, what the heck is all this? So we have a backlog of restaurants that want to do it, but I'm not really in town that much. So I'm just trying to do them sporadically. But the one is at Yoleni. So we're hoping to bring that back slowly but surely. Yeah.
That's awesome. I actually just Pat's networking event.
Oh yeah, so it's like Pat's, but like with food. But she has food at her events too.
Yeah. No, I met the owner of Yoleni's. I met him.
Oh, Yoleni. Yes. And Alexandria. Yeah.
Of course.
They have one in Greece.
Oh, really? Oh, that's so fun.
Oh my God. The one in Greece is like multi-leveled and it's just crazy. And I saw pictures of it. I was like, I love Rhode Island and Providence, but I was like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Go back to Greece. That's where all the fun is.
We're going to see you go international someday.
I would love to go there. We've actually been talking about it. I was told I have to buy my own plane ticket. I mean, what kind of jazz is this? No, but they've been really, really sweet.
Channel, you guys.
Yeah, right, guys. Please watch all the ads. No, but I'm excited to work closer with them. They've always, you get really lucky when you work with certain folks that are just, they basically say, hey, whatever you need.
Yeah.
And it's very rare to work with a restaurant or a group of folks that rarely ever say no or have never said no. They're like, Luke, whatever you want, whatever you need. Granny Squibs is like that too. Warwick Ice Cream products as well beyond restaurants. I'm just Yacht Club Soda. They're just whatever you need. Look, we know it's going to be good, and we know that you're gonna, you're not just going to drink it all, take it home and drink it all. That's awesome. So yeah, it's what my last piece of advice for everybody is, just. This sounds so cliche, but just be positive and stay positive, right? Yeah. There's people want to be around positive people. People want to build people up, and kind of the, another little golden nugget here is think about collaboration over competition. Yeah. That's the biggest thing as well. Yeah. So, at our foodie socials, you'll see other restaurateurs there. You'll see competing TV news station people there. You'll see other foodie accounts there. You'll just see a really good mix of folks, right? You'll see media people, radio people. It's about, we're so small. We're so small here. And the things that we could accomplish if we all collaborated is beyond measure.
I love that. Yeah. And the world is smaller now. I mean, look. we could be anywhere in the world, right? Right now, you and
Anywhere.
and talking. So it's definitely.
Amadia, put the peak sign, eh? I'm in Italy.
I'm coming to visit then.
Yeah, come on down. Yeah. Yeah, and that's
awesome,
and you're right. There's and here's the funny thing about this is kind of just a funny sidebar, but everywhere that I've traveled to, I'm talking everywhere, I find, and this people will co-sign this for me, I will find someone that has a Rhode Island connection.
Oh my God.
Rhode Island is so small. We're like this little private club where if you meet somebody from Rhode Island or someone who grew up or went to school, and they're always like, oh, is Caserta still there? I was like, Caserta's still there. And you end up talking. I was in the middle of, I think, New Mexico. I was pumping gas that was next to one of those like car wash places. And that guy's like, hey, are you really from Rhode Island? Because people would stare at me. Anything past like Mississippi, Alabama, I got stares. I was like, oh my God, am I speeding? But everyone's just like, what are you doing here? But everyone, like the brave enough people that come up will be like, hey, you really from Rhode Island? Is this a rental? And I was like, no, I'm from Rhode Island. And then we'll sit there and talk for like 5-10 minutes. You know, the grandma grew up there. They used to summer there. So it's just really weird. Rhode Island is this really cool place that sometimes you have to travel outside of Rhode Island to really get perspective sometimes. And, but yeah, I think the state of Rhode Island's tourism department owes me a check because I keep telling them, I keep telling everybody, come down to Rhode Island. Come on down.
I love it. That's so funny. Well, you know, Cranston, I'm a Cranston girl, of course, big hair, you know. I might be in Westport, but can't get rid of the big hair. Can't take the Cranston out girl. So, you know, Cranston is so near and dear to my heart. I live near the St. Mary's Feast. I always went to it. That was my thing. And, you know, when Olivia became Miss Universe, I turned around and said, listen, everybody, I've been telling you Cranston is the center of the universe, and now she proved it.
Yeah. You know, Ed's, one of my good friends, Ed, is he loves saying that same, you know, Cranston, because they just purchased the Park Theater.
Yes, I'm so excited for him.
Yeah, so they're looking to, you know, kind of expand everything there. So yeah, it is the center of the universe. Yeah.
There have been many times where I personally have said Ed Brady is Cranston, and I really believe that.
Yeah.
And especially now at the Park Theater project, I'm so excited for him. I think that's such a great project for the community and everything.
Yeah, some of the projects and ideas that they've been talking about, I was like, you can't do that. And then he's like, watch me. I'm like, oh yeah.
I love that.
I can't wait to see it.
Yes. Because I'm so like that too. I'm like, oh, I can't do it. Watch me do it twice. I'll take pictures.
Yeah, okay.
I love that spirit. I love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Pleasure.
It has been so awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed Lupe, the Rhody Foody. And next week we have Josh Choppy, who is super fun. He's a real estate photographer, but he's also kind of low-key a marketing genius. So he's going to give us some insight on what's going on there. I know we have a lot of real estate folks in the group, so that's gonna be really fun. But Lupe, we wish you blue skies and beautiful travels. And we're gonna put the link to your channel in the comments. Absolutely, we want everybody to go and subscribe and watch the ads, because
please watch the ads.
Because it's all for a good cause, and I love that. I love that. So thank you so much. Enjoy your travels, and maybe we'll do a part 2. Who knows?
Oh, I like it. All right, and then you'll have to jump in the car. We'll have a meal together too.
Oh my God!
Don't get shy. Don't get shy.
I would love that. I love it. I'm so not camera shy. Hey. All right. Thank you so much.